All right, let's talk about the first form that we're going to learn how to draw today is the cube. Okay, so let me walk you through this, and then you can try it on your own. All right. So let me also describe something too. A lot of times when we draw, we're going to just. I'll talk about holding your pencil later on Wednesday. All right. So here we go. So let's start off with on your page and give me two dots that are close together like this. And then the other two, make them really far apart. So essentially, I want you to draw and connect these dots, just like this. So if you think of an elongated diamond shape, okay, that's kind of what we're looking for, an elongated diamond shape. You want to avoid this. Don't do that. All right? This is no. This is yes. Okay? Elongated diamond shape. Now, give me three vertical lines that are of equal length. And then looking closely at that angle right there, let's match that. And then looking at this side here, let's match that as well. And there you go. Hey, that wasn't too bad, was it? Hopefully you just drew your first cube. Or maybe you've been drawing cubes already an awful long time. One of the things too is when I'm drawing these lines, I'm not really using my wrists so much as I'm using my whole arm. So you'll hear me comment that you should draw from your elbow or your shoulder versus drawing from your wrist. Okay, so when I'm making straight lines, I'm actually I'm keeping my hand as straight as I can, stiff with my arm, so that doesn't move, and that gives me a nice straight line. Yeah, progress. All right, excellent. I told you. I'll tell you, I'll get you there. Okay, so that's one way to draw a cube. All right, now let's already move on to something new. Okay, I'm going to show you now. I want you to draw the same cube but in perspective. So just let me show you what I mean by that before you do it. All right, just watch my screen. When we talk about perspective, sometimes that's a little scary. So pretend like this is a horizon line, okay? Just watch my screen. Don't follow this because I don't like using vanishing points. That's going to be a vanishing point number 1. That's going to be vanishing point number 2, all right? So if you were to draw a cube in perspective, just watch. This is how you typically would do it. Well, this is one way to do it. So you do something like this. Then you do something like this. Now watch. All right, so then we got that portion right there. Then we're gonna drop a straight. Just watch now. Okay, just watch. And then we're going to drop a straight here and drop a straight. Okay, so this is how you typically would draw a cube in perspective. Now, why did I just show you how to do that? Because the cube that we drew up here isn't quite in perspective. I think it's called an isometric cube because let me show you. All of these lines are parallel, okay? And typically, even when we draw a cube, generally it's going to have a little bit of perspective on it. You're never going to really find it where it's perfectly parallel. So this is I want to show you this down here. So in this case, look, this, you see how those three sides are converging, all right? I heard a teacher once say that this is fanning out. If you think of a fan, look at this. Here's a basic fan. All right, kind of goes like this, right? There's a fan for you. All of these key lines here are fanning out from a key location. You see that? So I want you to think that at the back of your mind here, that this is fanning out. Let me go back to my color here. I'll go green this time. These are all fanning out from a central point, right? And that point's going to be right here. Just keep that in mind for right now. And of course, we could see it happen on the other side as well. Let me get a nice color here. This fans out. These are all fanning out. You see how that works? All fanning out from the other side, all right? And then, of course, we have our verticals that are perfectly vertical, all right? All right, let's move on from that. So now let me show you this. Now I want you to draw with me, okay? So let's do the same exact thing we did. Let's start off with, oops. Let's start off with 2 dots. Extend those out. Let's connect those dots. Okay. Draw this lightly. Now let's get some verticals. Just randomly put some verticals in. And I'm drawing lightly here. Now let's use this one here. Now this guy is going back to a vanishing point. I just showed you how to do that. And let's randomly put a dot right down here, okay? We'll just put a dot right there. Now instead of making this parallel, let's just angle it slightly. You see that? You see, it's subtle, but it's really important. And up here, let's just kind of like make sure that also, those dots may not connect exactly, but we are, essentially what we're doing is we're causing all of these lines to go back, fan out, and we're just using our mind to kind of guesstimate this. Just guess it. You don't actually have to put the vanishing point in. Just give that subtle indication it's fanning out, all right? Let's do the same thing. So let's, on the other side, start right here. And I'm going to call this A. I should have called that. So then come down to A and don't make a parallel. Slightly angle it. So it is going to slightly go back to the same vanishing point. And then right here at B, let's do the same thing. Let's slightly angle it so it starts to go back to the same vanishing point. So when you draw cubes, so this is the first step, what I want you to practice. I want you to practice this cube right here, okay? I want you to practice it multiple times, but don't practice it with speed in mind. Practice it with construction in mind. Really make some good cubes, okay? So you might do this one, okay? And then you might like go on another side of the page, and then you might try it again. You might, this time, you can't see me, but I'm turning my pad around. I'm actually turning my pad, all right? You might make another cube at a different angle. You see this? All right, I know that that's going in that direction. That's gonna fan a little bit, and this is going to fan a little bit. That's going to fan out. Making sure that A, B, and C are perfectly straight up and down. Are two lines from point A at the same angle or varied? They are varied. They are varied. This is actually, let's just say this is angle, we'll call this angle O and angle M. These angles are going to be they're mirror of each other. They're going to be mirrored of each other, generally speaking. But they're all these guys are going to be converging to that same vanishing point, way over here. That is, I don't even know where that is. I personally don't I don't care where that is. I just want to make sure those angles are converging. Okay. So practice this over and over and over again until you could almost do it in your sleep. All right. And just keep thinking of these things fanning out. All right. Let's open up this picture right here. So I found this building, and this is a cube building. You can see it. It's going back to a vanishing point, and it really clearly illustrates this things fanning out. Okay, so let's do that. Let's try drawing this building. Give us a nice test here to see how we can do. I'm going to just crop some of those sides off there. So let's start off with this corner right there. Okay, I mean this I'm going to that vertical right there, right on the corner. Okay. There it is. Now, our eye level is right in the middle of this cube. That way, that's because this building, because we can't see the top and we can't really see the bottom. You see that? So this is we could start off by the bottom. This is gonna go back to the vanishing point. And now this is a little bit more of a severe angle. Okay, so this is gonna go back to the vanishing point. And it doesn't, I'm just mainly looking at the concept here. I'm not looking for perfection. Just get the concept down. That's far more important right now than anything else. Okay. That's going to go off in that direction. That's going to go off in that direction. Is that aw, like ah, you're getting it, or og, you're hating it? All right. Let me know. All right, let's draw a vertical back here. There's a vertical back there. And then let's draw a vertical over here maybe. So you could see my shape of my building here is quite a bit different than the one that's in the picture, but that's okay. We're just getting a concept here, okay? And that's more important than anything right now. Look at that. We're only 20 minutes in. I'm going to show you one of the greatest tools that you'll ever need to know when it comes to drawing in perspective right now. Are you ready? This is a perspective grid, and it's so important that you grasp this, okay? Because we're going to use it over and over again. So let's just call this line A right there, that vertical A, and this vertical B, all right? So what the human mind is able to do very easily is to divide segments in half. Very easy, okay? If I gave you a line segment like this and I said, here, show me where the halfway point, without using a ruler, you can more than likely determine where the halfway point is. So we use that to our advantage. So looking at line A, let's determine roughly where we think the halfway point is. And then we can move over to the vertical B and do the same thing with the vertical B. Fine, look at the vertical B and kind of guess where you think the halfway point is. Now let's connect those dots there. Wow, look at that. Hey, John, good morning. Good morning, my friend. Okay, let's do that again. Let's find the halfway point right here, and we'll call this X. All right. Let's find the halfway point between A and X, and let's find the halfway point between B and X. And you could connect those lines as well. Let's do that on the bottom. Halfway point. So what we've just drawn, now if you look at our picture, they have 4 equal floors in this building. Well, it's a perfect perspective grid. So how do we use a perspective grid? Well, we'll use it more and more, but for our class this morning, let's just pretend like this was a cabin and you put a door. Let's just say you just randomly put a door in right there per se. Well, you could use this grid to make sure the top, let me change my color here. You could use this grid to make sure the top and bottom are in perspective. And so using this idea where you are dividing things in half, will create this beautiful grid that you can add extra things upon. And the more segmented you get, the more information that you can use in order to make sure that your windows, your roof line, all these things fall into perspective, okay? All right. Let's bring up another picture here. All right, here's a lovely cube. We could draw this now, easy. So let's start off with a dot. Okay, that's going to be the corner of our cube there. Now look at this. This is a little bit different than what we've done already before. instead of the dot being straight above it, this dot is a little bit off center. You see that? Well, that's okay. We could do that. So let's draw that right now. So we're gonna put a dot, and then instead of putting a dot right there, we're actually gonna slide it over and put it right there. I'm gonna erase that. All right, same exact thing that we did before. I'm just going to put this dot over there. And that one over there. Let's go ahead and connect those. And now let's start with let's start with A. We're gonna call that dot A right there, okay? Let's drop a straight. Let's come down. We're just gonna guess, just kind of guess where the bottom of that leather part, not the leg, just the leather part. I think this is an ottoman. And let's use what we just learned a second ago. So if this is going back to that vanishing point, let's slightly angle this, even if the picture isn't quite like that, but let's angle it to kind of reinforce this fanning out method. Let's do the same to the other side. This is going in that direction. Let's angle it slightly and then drop a straight. All right, let's add some legs to this. So I'm just gonna draw two concaving lines and curve the bottom. Look at that. Same thing over here. I'm gonna do the same. And then same thing over here. So far, let me just do a quick review. We looked at drawing a cube in an isometric format. And then I showed you how to fan things out. Oops. Oh my gosh, that's awful. I'm going too fast. I'm sorry. Don't draw this. I'm just kind of reviewing this with you, okay? All right, we're going to fan those out there. All right. All right. All right, so we talked about the fanning out of the sides, right? All right, we talked about doing a perspective grid. All right, then I want to show you one more thing here with this ottoman. All right, let's say if we had a square, and you could draw this here, and this could be even a rectangle. doesn't matter. But anything that has four corners, okay? If we need to find the center of this object, all we have to do is connect the corners. And that would be the center. Same thing over here. If we found the corners, connected the corners, that's going to be the center. Why is this important? Why is this important? Well, let me show you. Sometimes we'll need to find the very dead corner, the dead center of an object to help us. Like if you're going to build a roof on something, you'd want to find the dead center. But when something is in perspective, the center isn't exactly where it seems to be all the time. And I'll show that to you in this format. So let's just say, don't draw this, just watch this. Let's just say this, see this square, this rectangle now is going back in perspective. You see that? It's going back to a vanishing point. Well, if I was going to find the center of this, I might just assume it's right there. But let's draw an X and see where true center is on this. So if I go draw an X like that, and then I draw an X like this, wow, look at that. Look how off I am. This here, right there, that is the center of this rectangle in perspective, okay? So that is what I want to, that's how I'm going to use this tool in order to determine where the center is, all right? So remember the perspective grid, dividing things in half. And then remember, if you need to find the center of something, if it's square, connect the corners, all right? Wow, there you go. Woo! Okay, so you want to remember that because we'll use that over and over and over again. So let's finish our ottoman up here by connecting the corners. Sharon, you're required to show up at every class because of your enthusiasm. It's infectious. Okay? You got to show up for every class because yep, definitely ran afoul there before. You too, John. All right, so there we go. So there's our ottoman. What do you say we move on to our next object here? What do we want to show? Let's try this one. This is a good one. Similar. Here's another ottoman. All right. Here's a different ottoman. So let's try building this one, and it's a little bit different angle. Okay. All right. So let's start off. Here's my first point. I'm going to start right there in the corner. Okay. Let's look closely now. This back corner one, look, it's off slightly in the other direction. Like that. All right, I think you could figure out where this one's going to go right about there, maybe, right? And then this other guy is a little bit more further out. Something like that, maybe. I'll pop these on so you can see. Okay. Let's go ahead and connect those. Let's go straight down, and we're just going to guesstimate. We're going to guess it goes right there. Okay, let's fan these out. It's going to fan out in that direction. This is going to fan out in this direction. And a straight and a straight. Doing good. All right, let's get this cushion. Let's kind of guesstimate of the thickness of that cushion right there. And let's just kind of estimate about where it's gonna go in that direction. It's gonna be it's gonna also fan out, so it's all, you want to use your best guess of it going back to the same vanishing point. And then the same thing on this side. Just use your best guess. And once again, I'm using my whole arm to get that. I'm drawing lightly, and I'm using my whole arm to get that nice straight line. All right, let's add a little tone, because there's some, this side over here is in shadow. Let's add a little tone to it. And then look at this. Here is, we'll call this X and O. Look at the value. The value is the amount of how gray something is, or how much black there is in it, okay? So look at the value in O versus the value in X. So that means that we have got to add more value down here to create that level of contrast. Parallelograms. That's true, John. That is true. All right, so all right, we have one more value to add to this, and then we're going to call this value over here, we'll call this A. So look at A, and in your mind, compare A to X. And if you squint, ask yourself, wow, is A darker than X, or is it lighter than X? Ooh, that's a hard question to answer. I'm going to, for the sake of conversation here, even though X might be slightly darker, you know what we could do? We could actually test this theory right now. Let's do this. Let's see what happens here, because I think I can by doing hue saturation. And let's bring that down. Oh my, look at that. Look what I just did. Well, the truth is, let me look closely. Ooh, man, that is so close. I'm going to take a shot when shading using this. Yes, use the side. Try and use the side, Sharon. And the key is when you're shading anything. This is what is important, that you find that you get a consistency. So just move your pencil slowly as you go across. Okay. What you don't want to happen is something like this. where it's like uneven. See, you don't want something like that. What you're looking for is a very even tone. So it's a mixture of having the same pressure on your pencil and moving it consistently across from one end to the other, okay? Try and avoid these little light gaps. You want it to have an even fill, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to then make this side just slightly darker. I'm going to make A slightly darker than B, than X, I'm sorry. And I'm going back into the bottom of this ottoman down here in O and making that even of a darker value. Okay, I'm gonna move on to another picture here. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this here. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Okay, let's try drawing this. This will be a little bit harder, and we'll see how we do with this one, okay? So once again, let's get a new layer here. I'm going to start with that foremost corner right there, okay? So let's get that down just like that. All right, I'm gonna put a dot too down here at the bottom. All right, let's go ahead and draw. Let's draw then this idea. This is going in this. Look at that edge. That's going in that direction. Oh, look, that's fanning out. Look at that. You see that? So let's try and get those two angles here. All right, mine look a little severe, but that's okay. That's okay. And I'm just gonna kind of estimate where this corner is. Just gonna estimate how far back to this. All right. And let's drop a straight line. Again, I'm using my whole arm. I'm not using my wrist when I draw that straight line. That keeps it nice and straight. Look at this side now. That fans out, and that's also fanning out there. So let's do that. So we're gonna come in that direction. Kind of come in that direction. Once again, let's just kind of guesstimate how far back that corner is right there. All right. And let's draw a straight line down here. All right. All right, let's get the top of this in. Now, let's use what we just learned. Remember, what we just learned a little bit, just 5-10 minutes ago, was this idea: if you have a square and you connect the corners, it's going to give you the dead center. Okay, so let's do that on this side right here. So let's just and here's a little tip for you. When I'm drawing a long line and I need it to go straight, if I put my eye where I want the line to go, that will help keep it straight. This is what I mean. Let's just say I'm going to start drawing my line from this corner and I'm going to go up to that corner. Okay, if I keep my eyeball on this corner right there, my line will be a little bit straighter. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Watch this now. There it is right there. So if I keep my hand straight when I make that line, and I keep my eye focused on the end point where I want my line to go, it will help keep my line nice and straight. And let's do the same thing to the other side. Same process. Try and avoid, you don't want to use a ruler. You want to do this all freehand. Avoid using a ruler. That will only slow you down in the long run. Okay, using the center of that crossover, let's extend a line straight up. I'm going to erase some of these little arrows here. All right, I'm going to keep going. If I'm going too fast, just tell me to slow down a little bit. I'm going to put a mark up here. You can see where I put that mark. That mark's going to signify this corner right here, okay? Now, as we did this before, you know, this is going to a vanishing point. This is fanning out to the same vanishing point. All right, and this little guy right here, we want him also to go to the same vanishing point. And you could just kind of guesstimate this. You could guesstimate this. Okay, let's connect those two dots. And then, generally speaking, just draw a parallel line here. This isn't always true, but it will work for where we're at right now. And then draw another parallel line over there. Then you can connect the other side as well now. And then let's extend just the top just a little bit. Just a little bit, just like that. And let's make this also kind of go fan out, go in the direction of that same vanishing point. So and then just do a vertical back here. Wow, look at that. You just drew a milk carton. Wow. Just drew a milk carton. So let me show you a review. So this, these are all going to converge at a vanishing point on the right side someplace. You just drew this, you just drew a milk carton in perspective, and you didn't even use any vanishing points. That's pretty cool. That is a great thing to remember, how to use vanishing points without even seeing them or knowing where they're at. Using this method of fanning things out. Now this other side, let's take a look at this. This goes back to the other vanishing point over there, and this one does the same. So as we come up to the end of our hour here, I do want to say that we do have a Facebook group. Join that, of course. We have a Monday night live class and a Wednesday night live class. Wednesdays we always draw a portrait. On Mondays we draw something that has to do with landscape. So you'll definitely want to check those out. But let's maybe bring up one more picture here. Let's bring up this cube of butter here. Because this is a totally different angle, and this will be good to end on, okay? Okay, so here's our cube of butter. All the same principles apply here, okay? This is going to be your all right, let's get this up here. One more. Oh, I know why that's going on. Let's see here. Oh, we can just delete that. All right. All right, here. That's our front corner right there, right? Let's put that down first. Then look at our back. Let's determine where our back corner is. Look at that. Wow, that's way over there. Okay, so let's try to guesstimate where that's going to go. All right, so I'm going to look for that relationship. That looks pretty good right there. If I'm off, that's okay. Yep. Yes, you're right, Sharon. It will just come with practice. It's just trying to get the theoretical idea down. But as long as you kind of have a target, you're welcome. If you have a target to see where you're shooting for, it will start to come together. So just repetition. Watch this video over and over again and just walk through the steps. That is one of the best ways to really get skilled at this. Just repetition until you're able to go off on your own and try it. All right, let's get that other dot here. It's going to be something like that, maybe. We'll finish it off with this. And then let's get the other one. All right. And let's connect those. Now this should, look at this now. Let's just show you this because I made a mistake here. That's going back to that vanishing point. This, look at this. This is not, you see? This should be. So it should be going back. These two should be going back to the same vanishing point. See, even I have to adjust my stuff once in a while. Okay. We're going to drop a straight here. And then just like this, this is going back. This is going back, right? Right here. That's going to also fan out. And then we're going to do the other side. This is going to come straight down. This has got to fan out. And there you go. There is another angle of our cube butter. All right. I think we're going to end it with that. All right. Thank you for watching. Do post your work in our Facebook group. Do like the video, comment, do all that good stuff. Please subscribe. And I will see you all on Wednesday morning, the same time at 6:30. We're going to take a look at the sphere on Wednesday. Okay, practice these. If you're part of our class, I have a whole bunch of other cube type of pictures in there that you could try drawing, and we got it. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is Back to Basics, our first class, taking a look at the cube. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.